Hello everyone, and welcome to this video on the upcoming Cancer full moon that is happening on the 28th through to the 30th. So depending on where you are located in the world, this is a really beautiful full moon that is a wonderful way to wrap up this year and really prepare us for this next chapter we are stepping into. So today I'm going to share with you all the insights on how to manifest by working with this energy. And before we dive in and look at the main energies at play around this full moon, there's definitely some history that I want to share with you that's going to help you really understand the cosmic shifts that are at play at this time, because I feel this Cancer full moon is playing a huge role in the recent Great Conjunction and just helping us process and integrate the events of this year so we can really begin to move forward. So when you jump on and join me today, say hi. You know I love to welcome you in. If you know somebody who could benefit from this video, share it out. Let's get this information out there and help people make sense of what's going on right now. All these changes and transitions, and astrology is a beautiful way to put those puzzle pieces together and give us a deeper level of understanding. So for those of you who are new to me, new to my work, welcome. If you've followed me for a while, I appreciate you so much, and welcome as well. So I am a master astrologer. I'm also an Akashic Records practitioner. I love helping the spiritual leaders and light workers of the world really amplify their impact, get their message out there, and experience true wealth. So today we are looking at the Cancer full moon. So recently we had this powerful great conjunction happening between Jupiter and Saturn meeting up at 0 degrees of Aquarius. And this is kicking off a new 200-year cycle where these powerhouse planets will be meeting up in air signs. So we are stepping into a time of innovation, of change, of progression, of new ideas and solutions. And we are at the very beginning of that right now. We are at the beginning of this new paradigm, this new cycle, the Aquarian age, where we really are going to see a rise in social justice issues. It's the energy of the humanitarian and the visionary really stepping up. And remembering that we are entering a new 200-year cycle, so we are at the beginning of that. And each of us has an important role to play right now in what that looks like and how that plays out. So if we look at the energy of Jupiter, it is about abundance, it is about expansion, it's this feeling of hopefulness. And when it moves into Aquarius, we have this renewed sense of hope for what the future has in store for us, this renewed sense of optimism. And it really helps us focus on that larger vision. And then when it teams up with Saturn, Saturn is the planet of karma, of time, of direction and focus. So these energies fuse together when planets meet up in a conjunction. And this gives us the ability to really move into the future feeling this sense of hope and feeling the shift on the planet. So definitely share below. I'd love to hear if you saw this form as the Christmas star as well. I know some people were able to spot this and it's been labeled as the Christmas star. I wasn't able to see it where I was, but I could absolutely feel the power and the transformation. Like the vibration of the earth is shifting right now. We're feeling a shift in the vibration of the planet. And being at the beginning of this change, we're still getting used to what that feels like, what that looks like, what that means for us. And I know if you're drawn to this video and the work that I do, you are a crucial part of creating this change. Like, yes, we are showered with this new energy of hope and optimism and all of that. Like, we're stepping into new solutions, but we are also creating that. So it's so important that we show up as spiritual leaders right now, really grounded in our power. Christine, I felt it, but it was too cloudy to see. Yeah, I saw some people posting pictures online and it looks so beautiful. Hello, Teresa and Robin and Emma. Welcome. Leanne, good morning, beautiful. So good to have you here. Stephanie, my dad is here. We got a great group of people. Welcome. Definitely say hi as you jump in. I always love to have you here, and I love to personally greet you. So this is like the backdrop leading up to the energy of the full moon, really keeping that in mind. We are in a time of change, of transition, of moving forward. Now, what is also really interesting about this full moon energy is we started this year with a full moon in Cancer as well. So we're wrapping up this year with the Cancer full moon. We started this year with the Cancer full moon. So a lot of the energy that's coming in right now is about integration. It's about healing. It's a lot of processing how you have changed and evolved and grown over this past year. And of course, the Aquarian energy, it brings into play both the importance of the individual as well as the importance of the group. So when you're doing this reflection around the full moon, really looking at how you have evolved and changed over this past year. If you think back to, I believe the exact date was January 10th. It was definitely around there where we had the full moon in Cancer as well, which also happened to be a lunar eclipse, which is significant. So this is the first time in a while that we're having this full moon energy in the zodiac sign of Cancer without it being part of an eclipse energy or harshly challenged by Saturn, which has been opposing it for so long. So it really is a lot of significance around this full moon and how it is supporting us in integrating the lessons of this past year, in healing karmic ties, and really taking a look at how we now choose to move forward. Isn't that cool, Adriana? Absolutely. It's a very significant full moon when I feel into it. Lots happening there. Katie, my moon sign is in Cancer. I love that. I did a post yesterday saying I'm a Cancer sun. I have my Venus and Mercury also in the sign of Cancer, and just so many people commenting underneath that they were Cancer moons that I thought that was really cool, right? Because when someone has their moon sign and our sun sign, we tend to feel that connection with them. So just a little side note. So definitely this full moon is a time of deep healing and integration of what has unfolded this past year. And we need that in our life before we move into a new chapter and a new beginning, which we are stepping into. And the vibration of the planet is already shifting. We are feeling that. We are ascending. And then it's, our choice to say, do I go with this ascension or not? We always have free will. So all of that is happening. Now we still have Pluto in the sign of Capricorn, working to break down some of those old structures and traditions. So yes, we felt the energy right away with this great conjunction on December 21st. We feel that energy, but also knowing this is a transition as well. We are still with Pluto traveling through Capricorn until 2024 while we're moving into this new era of advancement and new solutions and new creative ideas, technological advancements. There's so much we're going to see. There's still these old structures and these old systems that are falling away, especially in the way we do business, which I feel so strongly. This is a time for us light workers and healers and spiritual leaders to really stand up and share our message, because we are part of this evolution and how this is going to play out and what this is going to look like, just as those old systems of how we do business, how we make money are beginning to collapse and fall away. And Pluto moving through the sign of Capricorn is still working with that. We're still seeing the ending of that, the releasing of the structures, the traditions, the systems, the form of government that no longer serve us in order to create the new. So we have that dynamic at play. And that brings us to this full moon in Cancer happening on the 29th and 30th, depending where you are in the world. So the Cancer energy is the energy of the goddess. In astrology, the zodiac sign of Cancer is one of the embodiments of the divine feminine energy. It is ruled by the moon. So the moon is right at home in the sign of Cancer. And it's bringing us back to ourselves. I believe I titled this video, Growing Strong Roots That Allow You to Flourish, that allow you to thrive. This Cancerian moon is about coming home to you, coming home to what you really value. mothering yourself, nurturing yourself, finding that sense of security and safety within, because that is so needed. We're moving into this time of change and transformation, and opposite this Cancer moon, we have the sun in Capricorn, which is all about the work you do in the world. It's how you show up, your public image. But in order to really do powerful work in the world, we have to have a strong foundation. And this Cancer full moon is inviting you to look at the foundation you have created for your life, growing those strong roots that do allow you to show up and do your soul's work in a way that feels really aligned and feels really good for you. I feel a lot of what happened this past year was an exploration of our values, what really matters most to us, what we really care about the most. And this Cancer full moon is bringing us back to that. Really inviting us to look at, am I honoring my values in my life? Am I actually connected to those core values with every action I make and every decision that I make? This full moon is a time to recharge your energy, nourish your spirit, have like a goddess day of just relaxation, healing, integration, reflection. Really, we don't need to wait for this full moon to do that. This is something we can have every day, every week, but this full moon is about slowing down a little bit. Slow down, step back, go within, connect to those core values, take time to prioritize your self-care, take time to nourish yourself. And we've all heard this, that we can't be of use to other people if we are exhausted or we're worn out or we're not in our power. We all heard this before, but this Cancer full moon is helping us understand this on a whole new level. The importance of caring for ourselves, mothering ourselves, coming back home to ourselves so we can do our work in the world. Let me know if this is resonating, what's coming up. If you are just jumping in now, say hi so I can welcome you in. Feel free to share what you are releasing and letting go of in this full moon. I'm going to talk about that too, that strong releasing component, which we always see with the full moon. Emma, I love how your jewelry enhances your beautiful eyes. Oh, thank you, Emma. This is actually Christmas jewelry. Gifts that I got for Christmas. Thank you. All right, I'm just going to check in for a moment here with the questions. Autumn, my moon sign is in Taurus. I love that. My moon is actually in Taurus as well. Christine, my moon's only Aquarius. I hope that's a good sign for the new age. Oh, that's a powerful sign for sure. And for anyone that goes a little bit deeper with astrology and you know your chart a little better, if you know where Aquarius is in your chart, what house it rules over, if you have planets there, you can get even more deeper insight into how these changes are unfolding for you, especially if you know where zero, this is getting even more specific, 0 degrees of Aquarius is in your chart. And if you need support with that, I usually don't do one-off readings, but I have larger packages that involve working with your birth chart. So definitely reach out if you want some help with that, exploring your birth chart, your divine soul blueprint, and how to work with these energies and gaining a deeper understanding and how these huge cosmic shifts are actually interacting with your chart, how they're influencing your chart, and how to work with them this year. Okay. So the Cancerian energy coming back home to you. Now, a big part of this as well is karmic ties, releasing karmic ties. So Cancer energy governs our home life and our family as well. So we've got our values, our inner world, our family, our home life, and where it is a full moon and just looking at it in terms of the context of the shifts that are happening right now, this is a time of releasing and looking at those karmic ties, those ancestral patterns that may have been passed along through the generations that we know it's time to let go of, that we are not bringing with us into this next chapter of our life. And because this full moon is really going to amp up your intuitive gifts, you may already be feeling that, like your intuition is going to be spot on. This Cancer full moon is activating your natural intuitive abilities. So really pay attention to what is surfacing at this time, what you are called to release. What are some of those karmic patterns? And these karmic patterns can be at play in your finances. What beliefs do you have around money that you feel have just been passed along through the generations that don't serve you and it's time to let go of? What beliefs do you have around your relationships? that have just been passed along and it's time to release. And again, this could be passed along through the ancestral line. That's a big part of this full moon, looking and honoring that connection we have with our ancestors, integrating those helpful patterns, releasing the ones that no longer serve us, that may have at one time but do not have a place in our future. We're letting go of that. This karmic patterns, of course, can be our past life as well. These cyclical patterns that we repeat each lifetime, or even throughout our life, until we get the lessons. We're not meant to stay stuck in karmic patterns or karmic ties. We're meant to acknowledge them and really integrate the lessons from it. Brittany, I had my birth chart done, and after reading it, my mind was blown. Oh, it's fascinating. It really, it helps us make sense of so much in our life. It takes us back to our blueprint. So we gain that clarity on our life path, our life purpose, our soul gifts, our past lives, what we are here to lean into, how we're here to grow and evolve this lifetime. And then when we look at the current cosmic shifts in relation to our birth chart, then we really get insight on the life lessons that we're being initiated into right now, how we can grow and evolve. It's a game changer, total game changer. Definitely something I feel would support everyone on their journey, is knowing their birth chart and connecting to that energy deeply. So we have this strong intuitive component at play here with this full moon. So really be aware of what's coming up. Another thing that's really strong at this time with this full moon, and you may already be feeling it, is emotion. When we have a full moon in a water sign, especially Cancer, emotions are at an all-time high. They are powerful. And it's a good time to look at how you relate to emotion in your life. So for instance, you allow your emotions to rule you, because emotions come and go. And the moon in Cancer does remind us of that as well. It reminds us to flow with the rhythms of our life, to allow emotions to move through us, not to hold on to them, to allow them to flow through us. So be aware of the emotions that are coming up for you without getting caught in the story. Because sometimes, and depending on the makeup in your birth chart as well, for some people, if you have a lot of planets in air signs, you may be naturally more in your mind. You may be more intellectual and prone to look at things in a very analytical, practical way. If you're an earth sign or have a lot of earth energy, you may just want to avoid emotions, thinking they're kind of messy and you don't want to look at them. But this full moon, regardless of what's happening in your chart, it's gonna bring up some of those emotions, and then it's your job to look at how you relate to the emotions that are emerging. Do you allow yourself to be controlled by them, or do you honor them? Do you look at them and do you allow them to flow? Emotions are meant to come and go. The only time we get stuck in certain emotional patterns is when we create stories around them instead of allowing ourselves to fully process them. So that's a big part of this full moon, is looking at your relationship with emotion. Because if we don't look at emotions in our life and we're like, no, I'm just going to put it aside, then they're actually controlling us more than we realize, because they're still at play. So we want to have that healthy relationship of acknowledging emotion without allowing them to control our life. So that's the energy. If that gives you a better feel of this Cancerian energy, the moon in Cancer that we are really feeling into. Now, opposite this Cancer moon, we have the sun in Capricorn. We are in Capricorn season. That's what makes it a full moon, is we have that opposition at play. So while Cancer is about the goddess energy, the divine feminine, and that's why primarily this full moon is about nourishing yourself, taking a step back, really turning inward, processing emotion, allowing yourself to connect to that divine feminine energy within you. And regardless of the gender that you relate to, we have these masculine and feminine energies at play within us. So the Cancerian energy is the feminine. Now, opposite that is Capricorn. And Capricorn is one of the embodiments of the masculine energy, or the father archetype. And it represents our work in the world, how we show up, our public standing. So that's where we have the sun right now, we have Pluto there right now, we have Mercury there now. So there's a lot of energy there. And maybe I'll give a little background on this as well. So this another cycle that opened up on the 21st as well, is we've had Saturn these past 3 years traveling through Capricorn. And now that it's moved into Aquarius, you're also ending that 3-year cycle in your life. Wherever Capricorn has been traveling these past 3 years, you've learned lots of lessons, you're emerging as a new person, and now we're stepping into a new time of how you're called to show up in the world. So you're really integrating those lessons of not only this past year, but the past 3 years of how you have evolved as a person, how you have grown and changed, and especially where the Capricorn archetype is about our career, how we show up in the world, really taking a look at, if you're a business owner, how your business has evolved these past few years, how maybe you've changed in terms of how you present yourself to the world. A lot of those reflections can really come into play at this time as well. So this is where we see how these energies merge together. So the Cancerian energy, where this full moon is helping us build those strong, solid roots that allow us to flourish. So where we have the sun in Capricorn, we can show up and we can do our work in the world where we feel we have a strong foundation for our success, where we feel like we are honoring our values and what our soul came here to do in the world. We really have this beautiful balance in place as well between the masculine and feminine energies. The feminine that needs that time to recharge, and the masculine is that drive to get out there and share your work in the world and feel confident doing it. So both of these energies being at play at the time of this full moon. If you're just jumping in now, say hi. Thank you for the hearts and the likes and all of that. I appreciate it. We're going to move into some of the aspects that this full moon is forming as well, just to even help us get deeper insight. So again, if you want help kind of looking over your personal birth chart, I do have packages I offer that can help you really dive into that. And I also have the doors open to my Goddess VIP group right now as well. And I just did a full moon ceremony in there. So we do new and full moon ceremonies every month to help connect to that energy. We also do work in the Akashic Records to really help you master manifestation by co-creating with cosmic intelligence. So reach out if you're interested in either of that. I'm going to check in with the comments before we move on here. Christine, I've changed so much in the past 3 years. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I think for so many of us. Hi, Lorena and Kate. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. And it's, you know, with Saturn traveling through Capricorn, I think these past 3 years have been a time of really like stepping up in whole new ways for us. Saturn brings challenging lessons. Anytime we are working with the energy of Saturn, we know we're going to be called to up level. We're going to be called to step out of our comfort zone. We are going to be called to grow. But ultimately, that's why our soul chose to incarnate here on planet Earth. It wasn't to stay safe. It was for constant evolution and expansion. That's what our soul has signed up for. Okay, so talking about change and expansion, I've got my charts pulled up here. Just gonna make sure I've got this right. Okay, so we have this moon in Cancer and it's forming a sextile with Uranus. And Uranus is the planet of change, transformation, and progression. So there's definitely, and we already know this, there's growth and evolution happening right now at a really quick pace. Massively accelerating the pace at which we are evolving as a planet. And you're probably noticing that in your own life too. Just manifestations happening really, really quickly right now. Situations coming in that are inviting you. Inviting is probably a nice way to say it, because with this Uranus energy, it can be sudden, unexpected changes that are really getting you to step up and release those karmic ties and to really step into who you're called to be, really step into your power and release the fear mindset and those old patterns and really just be grounded in who you are called to be when you're aligned to your infinite self. So this is that time of change, but how I see this aspect, so this moon sextiling Uranus, it really is, what do I need to release and let go of so I can move in to this next chapter in my life? Now, this has been an ongoing theme, but where we are wrapping up this year, this really is like, okay, another sign from the universe, a new chapter is opening for you to step into it. What do you first need to release? And this releasing is quite deep. Like, we're releasing a lot of ingrained karmic stuff that we've carried with us throughout this life, throughout past lives, that we are finally having a newfound awareness that it's not serving us anymore. And again, this can be financial, relationship, business, any place where there's old karmic ties at play, they're going to come in. Now, if you really know your birth chart, you can get even deeper insight on what might take the spotlight. So if that is going to be family or business for you, or friendships, like it is going to be more personalized depending on your chart. But there's definitely this strong releasing of karmic patterns so you can fully move forward. Now, what's interesting with this is Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, and we're stepping into the Aquarian age. So there is absolutely the energy of change and transformation right now, but this full moon is more about the healing aspect of it. It's more about just doing that integration work, that healing work in order to move forward. So let me know if this is resonating, what's coming up. I was thinking about that too, playing it safe and using the windowsill inside. Yes, we're letting go of that playing safe. We're like totally ready to just move forward. Hi, Virginia, welcome. Welcome, say hi if you're just jumping in. Christine, the manifestations are so fast, but so is the backlash when you're not in integrity. Yeah, things are happening really, really quickly right now, right? And that's where this full moon is like, come back to a place where you are in alignment. You are in integrity. And the only way you really find that is by going within. The Cancerian archetype is within. Go within, get the answers there from that space. You'll be guided to take action. You'll be guided to show up in the world in a way that is aligned with what your soul came here to do. So that's really, really a powerful theme at this full moon. So another main aspect that's at play is we have the moon forming a square formation to Chiron in Aries. Chiron is fascinating. So this is an important part of your birth chart to know as well. So Chiron is the wounded healer. So it's talking about karma and healing old karmic ties. So wherever Chiron is placed in your chart is a space where you're holding on to pain or trauma from past lives from early on that's meant to be transformed into your greatest strength. So we're not here again to repeat old karmic cycles continually, to stay stuck, to stay in struggle, to stay in suffering. We're here to evolve, to heal, and to enjoy this life experience. And Chiron helps us know where we need to do that healing work in order to fully thrive. So this is a powerful aspect for this full moon that may get you to look at some of those old wounds, but not in a way where you're pulled back, not in a way where you're going backwards, but in a way where you're able to do that healing so you can fully move forward. So for the collective right now, Chiron is in the sign of Aries, and this is all about looking at how we show up in the world, our level of confidence and worth, and cultivating deep feelings of self-love. And self-love and worth is really about alignment. Because when we're aligned with God, with our higher self, we know we are innately worthy. It's only when we get caught in the fear mind or ego that we question our worthiness and that we question whether we are lovable. Which is fine because we're human and we have those things come up. But when we know, we can realign and remember who we really are. The game changes. And this full moon is helping you look at where are some of those wounds? Where do you still feel like maybe you're not quite worthy or you're not quite lovable? And how can you release that and just realign with the truth that you're worthy because you exist and you are so lovable and you have an important role to play on the planet, and that's why you are here right now. So that's our full moon. That is our full moon in Cancer. Lots going on here. Main takeaways: take time to really nourish yourself, take care of yourself, build those strong, solid roots that will allow you to thrive, that will allow you to flourish, that will allow you to step into the Aquarian age being grounded in your power and what you came here to do in the world. That's the energies at play here right now. So thank you so much for joining me for this video. If you are interested in learning more about your astrology or your chart, I do have one-on-one packages that allow us to dive in deeply and support you in working with your divine soul blueprint and harnessing that energy to really master manifestation in your life. And again, I also have my VIP group open right now. So we have new and full moon rituals we do in there. We do weekly Akashic Journeys. You get access to my quantum manifestation system. So this is for light workers and healers who are really ready to co-create with cosmic intelligence, stepping into new levels of wealth and freedom and joy as we enter this new paradigm. So send me a message if you're interested in either of those. Thank you again for joining me today. Always so fun to hang out with you, to share this full moon energy. Sending so much love and light to you all, and I will see you very soon. Bye.